So hello everyone, in this video we are going to cover the basic difference between the GRC grills and the MPC grills, Ecoste grills. So let's focus point by point, that what are the basic differences. So the first difference is, the weight. Definitely when we talk about the weight of the GRC, the glass reinforced concrete, it is almost 3 to 4 times heavier than the MPC grills, Ecoste grills. So when we talk about the weight, then definitely what is its implication? See, in today's time, architects, the designers, the engineers, they prefer a product, which is light in weight, means which does not increases the dead load weight of the building. So definitely when we talk about GRC, it increases without any doubt the dead load weight of the building. And definitely when the weight is heavy, of the core product, gets difficult is the installation, because the framework which is required behind the GRC, definitely when the core product is heavy, then the installation which is required is also much more heavier, and it adds to the more of the cost to the user. So definitely yes, weight is the first part which turns out as a disadvantage and goes as a demerit to GRC. Second point is finish, because GRC they are majorly made on molds. So when any product which is made out on mold, definitely you cannot expect a complete standardized, being it an engineered finish with 100% precision on each piece to each piece. But yes, when we talk about MPC grills, so it being an engineered product and it is made on CNC, on Italian CNC machines, that's how our SOPs are, and we manufacture that, and there is a 0.1 micron precision finish guarantee which we give to our customer. So definitely that in turns very easily makes it different from GRC. Then when we talk about the price part, so definitely yes, when we talk about MPC grills, so it is in the range of 150 rupees a square feet, just the core product, and that turns out to be in the range of say about 250 to 350 rupees, just for the core product. So when we talk about the cost, so definitely that is also, there is an additional cost, which you have to spend, to buy GRC. Then when we talk about, the maintenance part, so definitely yes, maintenance in MPC grills is much more easier in terms of GRC. Why is it so? Because in certain cases when the wind pressure is too high and it being a heavy product, we have 2 case studies. One is of Panchsheel in Noida, and there's another one of Alpine Convent School in Gurgaon. And with these 2 case studies, we have become certainly very sure, because they both of them used GRC, and when there was a hurricane, which there was a windstorm, a heavy windstorm, then in that case the GRC which was installed, that actually got broken, and it actually fell on the ground, and then they had to use MPC grills instead of that. So that is in terms of maintenance, I can say then definitely yes, MPC grills is a product which is maintenance free, in terms of you don't have to get it reinstalled, and you don't have to worry about the wind pressure part. And also when we talk about it being white in color, whenever there is a rain, it easily gets washed away, and also it's a complete washable product, and you can wash it using a very clear water pipe. So that is another advantage which very clearly differentiates between GRC and the MPC grills. Then when we talk about the thickness part, so in our case the thickness starts from 11 mm for exteriors, and also it can go up to 18 mm, and also you can go say about up to 30 mm MPC grills as well. But when we talk about GRC, that definitely it comes in the standard of say about 35, 40 or 50 mm grills, and ultimately it increases the dead load weight of the building. Then when we talk about the aesthetic looks, so definitely yes, GRC, it not being a computerized made product on machines, it is made on mold. So definitely yes, it compromises on the parts of aesthetics, in terms of the standardization is not there. Yes, it being thicker in dimensions, it is thicker in thickness, so definitely it gives a more depth to the product. But yes, that is also which can be achieved in even MPC grills. Why and how? That's how I'll cover. So we can also take say about 30 mm grill, and we can do a 3D taper cutting on MPC grills and we can achieve the same kind of the thickness, the same kind of the depth which is there in GRC. So these are the major points, which actually differentiates. And last but not the least, is the lead time. That is something, which is a very, very important point, for everyone. So when a product which is made, as a product on molds, so definitely yes, that in turn increases the lead time, because the manufacturer has a limited capacity to manufacture. And in GRC, even if a group housing builder, what they have to do, they have to subcontract, the entire GRC quantity to 2 manufacturers or 3 manufacturers. What happens is, that in 3 manufacturers, there is a scope, of not getting a standardized quality, in terms of not getting a standardized finish, in getting not a standardized color even. So definitely, there's a risk, which we undertake when we subcontract a GRC job, to 3 manufacturers. And why does it happen? Because of single foremost reason, that this product is made out of molds, and when any product is made out of molds, then definitely yes, you cannot expect a production, which is very fast. But in our case, when it talk about MPC grills, we can even manufacture and we can even deliver about 50,000 square feet, in 20 days, less than 20 days time. So that is the kind of, delivery times, which we guarantee to our customer. And the next point, which is very important, is the color. So when I talk about GRC, then definitely yes, you can get it in different colors. But yes, when I talk about MPC, it comes in standard white color, and that's what we supply. But yes, we can, when we talk about, a beige color, and when majorly, in GRC, the Gwalior mint, the beige color is something, which majorly 90%, of the builders, they do prefer. And if you're looking out, for something, in Gwalior mint color or a beige color, then definitely yes, instead of MPC, you can choose first, the WPC grills, which are majorly beige in color. So we have both the options, MPC would come in standard white color, pure white color. And when I talk about WPC, it comes in standard beige color or a Gwalior mint colors, more or less little bit different it is there. But still, it can cater to that requirement, when I talk about color part particularly. Then the next point, which is very important, is the shaft opening. So whenever, we fix up a shaft, then definitely yes, in case of GRC, the shafts are not openable. I mean, whenever we have fixed a GRC grill, it becomes very, very difficult because the product weight is very heavy, and secondly, they are not installed on screw basis, they are installed on proper fasteners and nuts. So what happens is it is very difficult to open the shaft. But in case of MPC grills, it is very, very easy, to again refix, to again open the screws, with a normal drill machine. And any carpenter or any user, even themselves, if they want to get any maintenance done, due to any leakage, if there is any leakage in the pipes, or if there is any AC which is to be maintained, they could easily be done by just reopening the screws of the smaller portion of that entire grill, and then you can again fix it back. And that is something which really, really distinguishes the MPC grills from GRC grills, and it turns out as a great advantage to MPC grills. Then when we talk about the very major important point is the ease of installation. So when I talk about the ease of installation, definitely yes, the framework, as I told, is required, is much more lighter, because the core product is much lighter in case of MPC. But yes, when I talk about the handling of the product, that is also very easy. I mean, you can imagine, now we are doing up a project, which is 62-story building. And in a 62-story building, if they would have gone for GRC, I mean, you could imagine, that what amount of cranes which would be required to withhold that product, from the G floor, up till 60th or 62nd floor. It is practically imperative, and it is very, very difficult and impossible, to get it, uplifted, to that top levels or top floors, and it is very, very difficult. So that is something which we have to understand, that there are a lot of difficulties, there are a lot of challenges in terms of installation. But when we talk about MPC grills, if it's a piece of 10 feet by say about 4 feet, we can design it in 2 parts, like 5 feet by 4 feet and 5 feet by 4 feet, and we can easily carry those products even at the 60th floor without using any crane, or even with a crane it becomes very, very easy to upload it. Even a person who, if a building is of 20 floors, they can carry through the stairs, and that is very, very easy. And also, last but not the least, when I talk about GRC, the handling losses are very high. Means, if any GRC manufacturer is there, at the end of the day, they get paid on the square feet rate. But yes, if ultimately the handling losses are there, whether it turns out onto the scope of a builder or whether it turns out to the scope of GRC manufacturer. There are a lot of handling losses. Means if you have to take up the grill from G floor up till 30th floor or for 40th floor, then getting that product through the stairs or through the crane, there are a lot of chances of it being brittle, of breakages also, of the corners getting minor kind of little bit of breakages on the corners. So that is something it very clearly distinguishes, and I think when we combine all these reasons, it will become very easy for us to understand that how MPC grills is a better substitute. Yes, I do agree that it is being used from last 2 decades, 3 decades, but yes, with changing time we have to change with the options which are available as a new product, and it serves as a great substitute to the conventional product.